If you are still losing your hard-earned money to the market, this Great British Pounds Forex today analysis is for you. British Pounds USD, on my previous analysis where I break down the current move on the British Pounds USD, where I said we expect price to continue to drop lower on the British Pounds USD, you can see that price truly drop to the downside. So this week we have to look out for our trade plan for the next move on the British Pounds USD. If you want to know the right place to take take your buy or your sell setup on the British Pounds USD, stick to the end of the video to know that right place to sell or to buy the British Pounds USD. So let's go straight to the chart. The British Pounds USD on my daily chart still showing more sign of the bearish trend on the daily charts. But we can't just make decision and just follow the daily chart blindly and take our trade position without knowing what the higher time frame is saying about the British Pounds USD. So let's go to the higher time frame of the British Pounds USD, which is the weekly chart, to know the right direction, what we're expecting for price to do this week before making our decision on the British Pounds USD. So let's look at the trend of the British Pounds USD this week. On the weekly chart, our market structure on the British Pounds USD still remain on the sideways trend. We still have this series of lower low, higher high, and lower high. So we still have a series of lower highs on the British Pounds USD, which shows that the British Pounds USD on the weekly chart still remain on the sideways trend. So, but let's look at the current anatomy of the British Pounds USD this week. The current anatomy on the British Pounds USD this week showing that price will retest back to this resistance level. Then we can start looking for the selling opportunity for the British Pounds USD to this next support level. So our job this week, so long the weekly chart, which is the candlestick anatomy, is indicating price to continue to push lower on the British Pounds USD, we have to look out for more of a bearish trend on the British Pounds USD. So let's look at the resistance and the support level for us to take our trade from on the weekly time frame level. So on the weekly time frame, you know we can't sell on a support level. You know that selling on the support level is risky. So that can liquidate your funds. So we have to look out for our resistance level for us to start looking for our selling opportunity on the British Pounds USD. So on the British Pounds USD on the weekly chart, we have this our resistance level, which price has currently tested. So long price has tested this our resistance level. This is a sign of price reversal for the British Pounds USD to the downside. So what we expect this week on the British Pounds USD, we expect price to drop down to this level. This will be our first resistance target on the British Pounds USD this week. So then our next target on the British Pounds USD will be this support level. So let's go to this daily chart of the British Pounds USD. So on my daily chart of the British Pounds USD, you can clearly see that the Pounds USD on the daily chart. Let's look at the trend of the Pounds USD on the daily chart first. You can clearly see that we have this higher high, then we have a series of lower highs, series of lower highs, series of lower high, and price is currently closing a series of lower high currently now on the British Pounds USD. So this is an indication of price reversal, of price continuation for downtrend on the British Pounds USD. So long the British Pounds USD on the weekly chart is telling us that we expect more bearish trend, and the daily chart also has a strong downtrend trend for selling opportunity on the British Pounds USD. So our job now is to look at for the levels, the areas we have to sell this British Pounds USD from, and the levels we have to take our signals candlesticks from. So let's look at the levels before we do further. So on the British Pounds USD on the daily chart, so these are the levels we have to look at for to take our entries from. You can see that price has tested this particular level, price tested this level already, price tested this level already. These are signs that price is really want to push lower this week. From the candlestick anatomy on the British Pounds USD this week, there's a price reversal from this particular support, the previous support level. You can see that price reversed from this level. So long price reversed from this particular level, it's a sign of price reversal back to the downside. But we can't just take our trade because we see this reversal of price on that particular previous resistance indicating price to the downside. No, we must try to break down our analysis for us to go to where the lower time frame to take this trade. But before we do that, let's look at the DSY to confirm if this Great British Pound USD is ready to move to the downside. Let's look at the strength of the dollar to if the dollar trend will support this Great British Pound USD move for us this week. So the weekly chart of the Great British Pound USD, the weekly chart of the Great British Pound of the dollar index is currently on a sideways trend. You can see we have the series of lower highs on the dollar index, and you can also see that we also have a series of higher lows on the dollar index, which shows that price is currently on a sideways trend on the dollar index. So long we have this sideways trend on the dollar index, so we still expect price to remain on the sideways trend on the dollar index. But what we expect from the dollar index this week, we expect price to move to where this resistance level and a break of this trend, these swing levels. We expect more bullish opportunity for the dollar this week. So long the dollar index is showing us its strength, a sign of strength for more bullish move for this week. So we expect the dollar index to push more higher because the candlestick anatomy on the weekly charts is pointing more of a bullish move for the dollar index this week. So let's look at the daily chart of the dollar index. So on my daily chart of dollar index, we can see we have this lower low and higher low, higher low. So this is an indication of more bullish momentum for the dollar index, that the dollar is showing a sign of strength, that price is expected to push higher this week on the dollar index. So long the dollar index is telling us that there's a sign of price to push higher this week, we expect the Great British Pound USD to also go lower this week. So you can see clearly now that the weekly of the dollar index are pointing towards up direction. But what we need from the dollar index on the daily chart now, we need price to break up out of this level. Then we expect retest. We expect price to continue to push higher for the dollar index. So our scenario for this week for the dollar index still remain on a bullish trend. We expect the dollar index to continue to push higher this week. So let's go back to the Great British Pound USD. But before we go back to the Great British Pound USD, if you are still struggling with your trading career and find it difficult to make profit in this market, you can get my video courses in the link below, or you can book for my one-on-one mentorship in the link below. So let's look at the areas we have to sell the Great British Pound USD to the downside. For the selling opportunity on the Great British Pound USD, you can see that price have rejected from this particular level. So let's go to our 4-hour chart. So on my 4-hour chart, you can clearly see that price currently on the Great British Pound USD closed on the 4 hours resistance level, which is a sign of price reversal for the Great British Pound USD to move down. If you want to learn how to take this kind of trade, you can book my one-on-one mentorship. The link also in description below. So we expect the Great British Pound USD to break below this support level. Then we can start looking for our selling opportunity for the Great British Pound USD, which we expect price to come below this level. Then we expect price to continue to push lower for the Great British Pound USD. So long we have this the downtrend structure, because you can see from the 4-hour chart now, we see have a series of lower low, and we also have a lower low and a higher low. So that is why we expect price to break below this level for us to start looking for our possible selling opportunity for the Great British Pound USD to the downside. So if you want to learn how to take your trade from the 4-hour chart, you can book my one-on-one session. The link also in description below. You can also watch my previous analysis on the USD JPY at the top, where I break down the current move now on the USD JPY. If you find this analysis helpful, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more trading tips and forex analysis. See you in my next video.